A woman celebrating her birthday is killed. Cops say the shooter is the guy in the passenger seat of the gray pickup. He and the pickup's driver allegedly began verbally arguing with the occupants of the red SUV, which led to a brief physical altercation. The SUV drives away, but the pickup drives alongside. That's when the gunman allegedly displayed a handgun at the victims, stating he would kill them, and said, "I don't care to do 100 years. Then...
Oh my gosh!
11 shots ring out.
Imagine celebrating your birthday 1 minute, and then the next 11 shots ring out. It's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
But it actually happened in Panama City, Florida. And it's a road rage incident that we're going to deep dive into today.
Yeah. Definitely.
We're going to look at a YouTube video breaking it all down. But, a warning. This is a sensitive topic. We're dealing with a tragic loss of life, so we're going to handle it with the respect it deserves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I guess the first thing is, like, how does something like this even happen? I mean, we've all, been in traffic and felt that frustration, but this went so far beyond that.
Right. It's like you said, we all experience that kind of road frustration, those little annoyances. But in this case, a verbal argument at a traffic light turned into a physical altercation, then a chase, and ultimately a shooting. So like you said, it went way too far.
Way too far, yeah. And the YouTube video we're looking at shows just how quickly things spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
You see this pickup truck chasing down a red SUV, and the fear, you can just imagine the fear those people in the SUV must have felt.
Well, absolutely. And it really speaks to this broader issue of road rage. It's becoming increasingly common. And while most incidents don't end in violence, this case is a horrific example of just how dangerous it can be.
Yeah, for sure. And to think it started with just a disagreement at a traffic light.
Yeah.
It's like 1 minute you're having a normal day, and the next you're literally running for your life.
Yeah, and that's the thing about road rage. It can really trigger this primal fight or flight response. Your adrenaline's pumping, your rational thinking goes out the window, and it can be hard to control your actions.
Oh, totally. And, being inside a vehicle can almost create this sense of anonymity. People feel less inhibited, like they're detached from the consequences of their actions.
Right. It's like the car becomes this shield or this extension of themselves and their anger, and they might behave in ways they never would in person.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point. And, speaking of losing control, the YouTube video actually includes footage of the gunman leaning out of the truck window saying, "I don't care to do 100 years."
Yeah.
And then he fires 11 shots at the SUV 11.
Wow. That's just chilling. It suggests a complete disregard for human life and a willingness to accept any consequence just to, exert some kind of twisted control in that moment.
It's really disturbing. And tragically, those consequences were irreversible.
Yeah.
The driver of the SUV, a woman celebrating her 48th birthday with her family, was killed, and her daughter, Mary Lee, was critically injured.
It's heartbreaking, and you think about the ripple effects of this tragedy, not just for the immediate victims, but for their family, their friends, the entire community. It leaves this scar that's really hard to heal.
And Mary Lee's story is especially tragic. The updates on her condition are just devastating. She's still on a ventilator, she can communicate, but she can't yet speak or use her right arm. Her father and brother speak in the video, and their pain is just palpable.
Absolutely, and it really underscores the lasting impact on survivors. Their lives are forever altered by this one act of violence, and they have to deal with the physical and emotional scars for years to come.
It's just a reminder that actions have consequences, and sometimes those consequences are far-reaching and permanent.
Exactly. And, it brings up this crucial question of what can we do to prevent these tragedies from happening again, as individuals, as a society. How do we tackle this issue of road rage?
Yeah, it's a tough question, but I think the first step is acknowledging that it's a real problem. We all felt that frustration on the road, but we have to find healthier ways to manage those emotions.
Definitely. Education is key. We need to raise awareness about the dangers of road rage and teach people practical strategies for de-escalating conflicts. Things like taking a deep breath, not making eye contact with an aggressive driver, just choosing to let things go. It can really make a difference.
And there are resources out there too, organizations that offer anger management programs specifically for drivers and for people who struggle with impulsive behaviors. Seeking professional help might be necessary. It's about taking responsibility for our actions and recognizing that our behavior on the road can have these, life-altering consequences.
Absolutely. It's about making conscious choices, and sometimes the most important choice is simply to walk away from a potentially volatile situation.
Yeah.
The officer pursued that vehicle north on Highway 231, eventually landing in the parking lot of the Holiday Inn near the intersection of Highway 231 and Highway 77. The vehicle continued to attempt to flee officers, eventually ramming one of our units.
Eventually, these two people were taken into custody. Their names, Jubal Simmons and Ivy Bella Encino. Police say Encino was the one behind the wheel, and Simmons was allegedly in the passenger seat and is the one who pulled out the gun and opened fire. Simmons was arrested after he allegedly jumped out of the car and tried to run for himself. We looked into the social media of these two, and on Facebook it shows that they were in a relationship, posting several pictures together, but now they are in custody and both facing serious charges. They also, ironically perhaps, posted pics together with filters, putting devil horns on their head. Police say these two didn't know who was in the car that they allegedly fired upon, just that they were having some sort of traffic dispute, a case of road rage. They had no prior history with these victims. They say that Simmons just pulled out a gun and fired nearly a dozen rounds into the car that had Georgeanne and Marley inside. They also hit another vehicle that was out on the road. This case forever changing the lives of the people who were inside that car, taking the life of a mom who's just out celebrating with her family. Police say Simmons is facing charges, including 1 count of murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. Here's his picture in the Bay County Jail where he's being held without bond. His girlfriend, Ivy Bella Encino, also facing serious charges, including accessory to murder.
Send us your materials for future deep dives, and we'll help you unpack the most important information together.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.